Hello my friends and welcome to May. I am so excited about this month, partially because I finished a bunch of books at the end of April. I'm excited about my May reading, and partially because it is birthday month, both my birthday month as well as other people in my family. Today is my oldest son's 12th birthday, so we get to start the month off with a birthday celebration, and we close it with my husband's birthday, with mine kind of in the middle, and it's just always a good time. We aren't huge birthday celebrators, which maybe would be a surprise since I call it birthday month, but whoever's birthday it is kind of gets to choose the day. So this morning my son chose crepes for breakfast, we're going to be having chili for lunch, homemade pizza for supper, and he gets to choose what he wants to do. So it's just kind of a way for the birthday person to have a really great day. And benefit of homeschooling is he gets to play video games this afternoon with a bunch of his homeschooled friends, one of which can be in person and two of which live in a different province, and they can play via the internet. It's a crazy world. Love it. So books. I started one book off of my May TBR yesterday, and I started a book that wasn't on my TBR yesterday. So which one should we talk about first? Should I talk about the one I'm not enjoying or the one that I am? Let's talk about the one that I am enjoying first and save the rant for after. So I started Cranford. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I am on page 24, which is the middle of chapter 2. And so far, all we're doing is learning about the town of Cranford and the people that live in it, and how everyone is a little bit poor. They don't really admit it. There's some funny lines in here. I'm really enjoying the vibe. I've read the first sentence a few times when I hauled the book and when I made my TBR, but the second sentence, when I picked this up, it made me laugh. If a married couple come to settle in the town, somehow the gentleman disappears. He is either fairly frightened to death by being the only man in the Cranford evening parties, or he is accounted for by being with his regiment, his ship, or closely engaged in business all the week in the great neighboring commercial town. Yeah, so the men disappear. It's a town with a lot of women, and they pretend that the reason they live the way they do is not because they are poor, but just because they want to. If we walked to or from a party, it was because the night was so fine, or the air was so refreshing, not because sedan chairs were expensive. If we wore prints instead of summer silks, it was because we preferred a washing material, and so on, till we blinded ourselves to the vulgar fact that we were, all of us, people of very moderate means. So I'm liking the humorousness of it, getting to know the people. I'm very confused as of yet who our actual narrator is. This person visits Cranford, gets letters from people from Cranford when she's not there. I'm assuming it's a she. So I kind of feel like I don't know what's going on, but I'm enjoying my time. There's some absurdity that is just the perfect level that I'm really enjoying, which is great because I was expecting to enjoy it. I am not reading a large classic this month, and I've decided to see how many smaller classics that I've been wanting to read for a long time that I can get to. So I decided to pick this one up first. I've got quite a few that I would like to see if I can get to, so we'll see on that. Okay, this next book I read, is it the introduction? I read chapter 1 last night. Technically it's 2 chapters, but the first one's just a let's begin, and then there's like the real chapter. And I would love to finish this book during this video. I kind of don't want to pick it up because I'm already annoyed at it, and I also just want to blast through it, and I'm guessing based on the beginning that it's going to be a book that I'm going to be ranting about, which I don't really like to rant about books. If you guys have watched my videos, I don't do it very often, but this is going to be one of them. It's called No Time to Be Dumb, Letters to Teenage Girls by Rachel Jankovic. Jankovic, ends in a C. Yeah, so she has 4 teenage girls, and she's writing this book to teenage girls. I don't even know where to start. So the book is formatted. It's so cringy. It is so cringy. Okay. It is formatted. She is writing letters to fictitious girls. She is pretending, first of all, that her name is Aunt Lizzie, and that these girls are sending her letters about things that they are too scared to ask other people about, I guess. Just like, oh, I'm so just cringed. That's not really a word probably, but okay. So it starts out, we're writing a letter to Dear Lottie, which is a made-up person, and she's talking about how like, oh, okay, you and your teenage friends have some questions? Sure, just go ahead and send them to me, and we will see what we come up with, and here's also a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. So random. And then we get to the second chapter, which is like the first official chapter, and it's about, the chapter title is called Modesty. Dear girls, I told my husband I bet the first round of questions would be about modesty, and you ladies did not disappoint. Of course they didn't, because these are made up people. So I have only read the chapter on modesty, and before I get into it, I should also say I did share when I hauled this book in my last book haul that Reika read it, and by the halfway point she was like hate reading it, and she is not the kind of person that is down on books. She can always find something positive to say. As a writer and a person that wants to be a future writer, like she has a lot of she's very generous with her reading and how people write, and this one rubbed her the wrong way. So this chapter is about modesty, and I like totally pro modesty here. I'm not against what she's saying. The way that she comes across though is a little bit high and mighty, and there was one section where she was talking about, okay, oh, she was saying, are those the shorts you tug down in the kitchen at home where mom might see you and then pull them back up when you're out of the house? Perfect, start there. So she's saying like, get rid of them. Oh yeah, it says get rid of them. I would say put some skin in, okay, I think a more appropriate image would be putting your skin inside some longer shorts. Maybe there's a tee that you know to be a little too tight, or a dress that swings up a little freely when you turn just so, as you may have practiced in the mirror, or a shirt that only meets up with your pants occasionally in passing, or a dress that shows a little cleavage when you bend over. Like, I'm totally pro the idea of what she's saying, but so far this chapter comes across as very like condescending, and it gets my hackles up, and I feel like I dress modestly, and so does my teenage daughter. Like there's no, and I picture myself as a teenager. I would have been so irritated by this chapter. I wouldn't have continued, or maybe I would have hate read it. I just feel like she's not really going into this with, I don't know, the right attitude, the right, I don't know, it feels like there's no love in here. It feels just very much like she's looking down on the girls. So yeah, and then I feel like there's not really any like, here's some good ideas other than, yeah, I don't know, many blessings, Aunt Lizzie. Very, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like the approach. It's the approach that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know necessarily who the target market is here, like young women, but are they women, like young girls from Christian homes? Are they public school? Like I don't see who this could be marketed to that is not going to instantly feel defensive, whether or not maybe this book is applicable to them. Maybe there's a lot for them to learn here. But the way it's written, I feel like they're going to get their hackles up and not actually read it, or not read it with a heart of wanting to change. So I've read 12 pages and yeah. So the next chapter is church ladies. What? What's the chapter on church ladies going to be about? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be reading this throughout this vlog. My goal is to finish it by the end, because otherwise I'd be tempted just to leave it, and it's not the kind of book I want to just be leaving. So probably gonna focus a little bit on this in the next while, and I definitely want to read more Cranford, and then I'm tempted to pick up another book as well, or maybe I'll just stick with the two. I'm not sure what my reading philosophy is going to be for the month. Am I going to be reading all the books at one time, or focusing on a couple books? We'll see. We'll see how I feel throughout the day. I don't have a lot of plans other than to help Ephraim have the best birthday possible. Jared's at a meeting all day today, so it's pretty casual, and I'll just do what I can there. Make food, provide snacks. That's most of my day, and I will be reading in between, maybe frustratedly so. I feel like, you know, when you get into an awkward situation where you're with kind of a small group of people and there's like one person that's making the whole room feel awkward and uncomfortable. I was in one of those situations this week. That is how I feel with this book. Like, just shut up already. Like, zip it. That's how I feel. That is very much not my norm when reading, but it is for this book. Okay, I'm on the church ladies chapter start, and we get here, and she's just assuming that at least the girls that she's talking to and the girls she's writing the book to, so therefore all teenage girls, think that ladies in the church are church ladies, all those prudes. I just don't like how she really looks down on these teenage girls. Like, the way she writes, she expects them to just be terrible people, and it's really getting on my nerves. And I'm on page 14 so far, not even very far, and I can see why Reka was kind of like rage reading this book. Yeah, I'm like running out of words here. I got nothing. A rant review coming for this soon. I have a long time in a waiting room today, so I'm going to be taking this book with me. That's what happens when kids have appointments, lots of time sitting in a waiting room. And then I'm trying to decide what else I want to take, because I think I want to take something else, but I don't know what. If I took this one, I could probably just finish it, but what if I have extra time? I don't want to be sitting there without a book. Maybe Mrs. Polifax? She's fun. I could take her along. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take her. along with Cranford. Okay, couple things to talk about, book to rant about. But first, I started Mrs. Polifax while I was waiting, and she's fun. We've gone to Morocco. Her job is to work with this agent and go check out some informants. There's 7 informants, one of which they think has been replaced by someone. They're worried that someone has killed one of them and is taking their place or something. So, beginning of the book, she sets out with this guy she doesn't get along with very well. She's supposed to pretend that he's her nephew. He's kind of a miserable guy. And they go to see that the first informant is the informant that the picture shows, and so that box is checked. But she goes back there like an hour later and he's been murdered. And so she's a little suspicious of this guy that we are working with. I forget what his name is, Janko or something like that. So she pays one of the guys at the hotel to find out if he was at the hotel drinking this whole time. She makes up this story about, oh, he's her nephew and he drinks far too much. His mother is very unhappy about this. She cries. The whiskey, the wine, so that is why he is not nice. So he spies for her, finds out he was at the hotel the whole time. And so the guy that was finding out this information for her says, the barkeeper says he's not polite, he left no tip, and he is very sorry for his mother too. Everyone is sorry for this mother whose son drinks far too much. Which is just funny. Mrs. Polifax, I don't know, she's very clever. Very smart of her to check in to see if he was doing what he said he's doing. Very suspicious that that guy ended up murdered right away. So I'm going to have fun with this. I might blast through this today. The appointment didn't take as long as I expected, and so I have more time throughout my day than I thought I would. So probably gonna be reading a bunch of that. I did read some Cranford, and not much to report there yet. I have a book to rant about, but when I got home there was a thrift books package on my doorstep. So I got my handy dandy tiny little scissors and we will work through this here. The package feels very dusty. I had it sitting on my bed. That maybe wasn't the best idea. Maybe I'll just use my scissors. The funny thing about thrift books is, I forget what I ordered. There's 2 books in here. Thrift books has some decent prices for books. I like to use them for books that are just not in print that I cannot find elsewhere. They're not the best here in Canada because shipping is decently expensive. So I think I know one of the books because I couldn't find it here. Let's see, is it this one? Yes, this is the one. I have no idea what the other book is. The Pastor's Wife by Sabina Wormbrand. This is, oh, somebody got it from Value Village for $1.99. I paid more than that. This is the story of Sabina Wormbrand in 1948 when Soviet propaganda was asserting that free Christian worship was being tolerated behind the Iron Curtain. The communists arrested her husband, Richard Wormbrand. He has a book. Did I buy that one? Is that what the other book is? We'll see. And it's pretty famous. He was arrested in Romania for secret Christian activities. This is another book I want to proofread for my daughter for high school, for next year, for grade 10 next year, because she's really interested in learning about communism. She's been, ever since she read I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys, she's been really researching Romanian communism, and this lines up perfectly. This fits the historical time period we're going to be studying next year, so that's great. It's in perfect condition. there's like not even any writing or anything. There's a receipt in here. The pastor's wife. Someone bought it from Sharehouse Goods. And they had their, this is too funny. There's a Costco receipt in here. What did they buy? Eggnog. What year is this? This is definitely Christmas time. Eggnog. In November of 2022, they bought eggnog, some kind of cookie, a Dove 16 count, maybe soap, and some snow pants and jackets. So interesting. Okay, what was the other book that I got? I don't even know. Oh, no, I totally forgot. Elizabeth Gaskell, The Life of Charlotte Bronte. I totally forgot that I bought this. That's funny. So yeah, this is Elizabeth Gaskell's biography on Charlotte Bronte. I've been even more interested in reading this ever since I read The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte in November-ish, sometime in the winter. So currently reading an Elizabeth Gaskell and got an Elizabeth Gaskell, and this is one of the orange penguin books. I have a few of these. I think all of the oranges are slightly different shades though, because some are more faded than others. So that will go on my books to read. And now for a little bit of a rant. Honestly, I kind of want to sit down in order to do this. So I'm gonna readjust myself and then sit. Okay, let's let the rant begin. I mean, I already started ranting about it. Last night, let's make this not quite so bright. Last night I started reading it, went in, I mean I didn't start reading it, I continued reading it, and went in just already a little bit discouraged and offensive. On the offensive, defensive, I felt attacked, and it's not even written to me. First of all, I realized as I was reading last night, like, no time to be dumb. You're writing this book to teenage girls, and it's already coming off with a negative connotation. And that is my biggest pet peeve of this whole book. It seems like Rachel Jankovic has a very low opinion of teenage girls. She expects nothing positive from them. She wants them to be positive, but there are some things where it's like, she has 4 teenage girls, but it's like, do you even like teenagers? I do not see a teenager that could read this and enjoy it. I could see some super conservative teenagers reading it and being like, yeah, some of those other girls, they should be reading this. But I can't see anyone reading it and enjoying it for themselves and feeling lifted up. This just felt like slam after teenage girls. So interesting. There's some people really gave it good reviews. I'm just not one of them. There is first of all, there's a chapter called Drama that, let's go to it here. 4 pages of it are about, the first 4 pages are about knitting or crocheting. Dishcloth cotton, usually called peaches and cream or sugar and cream, is the cheapest yarn anyway, so the investment is low. In my opinion, clover bamboo circular knitting needles, 16 inches, size 7 or 8, are the absolute best to learn on. What does this have to do with drama? As I was reading the book, or that chapter, I was looking for the word drama, and I didn't see it once. Eventually we get into maybe like the idea, oh, there's some word dramatic in there one time, but like what? I'm not against people learning to knit, but what are we even talking about? She's kind of all over the place. Even like her chapter on homemaking, I am not against girls learning homemaking. She's got a list of like things that you should learn for cooking and baking and handiwork. She has some good things in here, but a lot of it is just incredibly negative. And Rika said, like, we've been talking about it as I've been reading it, she's like, I've never disliked a book so much. She's never like, and she wants to be reading good Christian nonfiction. She has tried multiple books geared towards teenage girls and has kind of had similar-ish problems. This one to the extreme. She loves like Brant Hansen, and I would love to see someone write a Brant Hansen's The Men We Need version for girls. That could be good. But this just kind of felt like an attack. The bit that I read last night when I was reading about like girls imitating, where was that? When you're discipled by a Kardashian, when young church girls start adopting a porn star or drag queen aesthetic. Like, oh, who's gonna want to read this when that's what you're saying you think that they all do? And I mean, maybe she doesn't use the word all, but it kind of comes across like that. And then there is a chapter called Taste Making, which I'm not really sure what the point is. Was it taste making? There was one chapter. Let's see if I can figure out where it was. Oh yeah, okay, it is in taste making. Some parts I agree with. A husband and a wife have different roles and callings, and when all is going well and right between them, their roles weave together into one very strong family unit. Scripture says that a husband is to imitate Christ, loving sacrificially and providing for his family. The wife, on the other hand, is to imitate the church, submitting joyfully and expressing her husband's love to the world. Now imagine a truly hardworking, high-achieving husband who loves his family and wants to care for them. But then imagine the wife is really dropping the ball. She doesn't know how to set a table or make a meal. She doesn't know how to make the home a nice place to be. No matter how competent that man is at being a man, he is crippled in expressing love to his family. He is crippled in the contribution that his household can make in building the kingdom. First of all, I agree that a person should know how to set a table and make a meal. A woman should be able to do that. But if this husband is truly hardworking and high achieving, that shouldn't cripple him into expressing his love to his family. This is a great time for him to extend grace to his wife, and especially if they're newly married, help her learn, or like wait till she learns. As someone that got married really young, we learned together how to run a household. And if like right off the bat you're judging that the kingdom is crippled because people are learning things, this just all felt super heavy-handed, and I was just frustrated and angry, and this isn't even written towards me. So yeah, I don't know. I could keep ranting, honestly, but I don't want to. I'm very over it. I am curious because there are some really good reviews on Goodreads. Are any of them by teenage girls, or are they just by women that think teenage girls should read this? As someone with a teenager who is super level-headed, she feels offended by this, and like she's not the one doing the things that it is talking against. But like, where's an encouraging book for teenage girls? That's what should be out there, not this. This is just super discouraging. Like, we're not going to raise up beautiful young women by slamming them and telling them always what they're doing wrong. So I personally would not recommend this, especially with a teenage girl. Now that's all I want to say about that. I would be tempted to just chuck this in the recycling, but I do have a friend that wants to read it, so I was gonna let her borrow it, but after that I'm throwing it in the recycling. But on to better books. Definitely spending time with Mrs. Halifax. Cranford is slowing down. Our narrator is this lady named Mary Smith. She kind of visits Cranford here and there, and it just feels a little bit discombobulated, which is too bad because I have heard great things about Cranford. I went into it wanting to love it. It started out really funny, and then someone died, and then someone else died, and then it like got quite serious for a little bit, so just it switched gears really quickly, and I wasn't ready for that. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this goes, but this one's my priority for today. Maybe I can finish it. That'd be a really good goal. I'd love to be able to finish it.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Welcome to a new day. I just got back from a walk, so I'm gonna open, this is an AHA orange and grapefruit drink. I found out last year that the carbonated flavored drinks, the non-sweetener ones, don't actually hurt my stomach. I can't drink regular pop without my stomach feeling like it's about to explode, but I can drink these, which is great because they're also 0 calories, so I don't feel too bad. Today is set to be, oh, except it does make my eyes water. Today is set to be a hot day, so I'm hoping to be able to chill a little bit now that I've had a really good 4-kilometer walk-in. Great way to start the morning. And I actually just finished filming a Little Free Library tour video. I think that will be my next video coming out after this one. Yeah, so also went to some Little Free Libraries this morning and thought I would give you some updates. Last night I ended up, oh, my curtain is getting in the way here. I ended up finishing Mrs. Polifax and the Whirling Dervish, which I don't even know what that means, but hanging out with Mrs. Polifax in Morocco, always a good time. I was struggling with some stomach issues last night and feeling tired by the end, so the last 15-ish pages are a little fuzzy, but that's on me. Looking forward to hanging out with her again some other time. But I finished my Read Your Bookshelf Challenge book for the month already, and it's May 3rd. So one of the things I wanted to do in May is try to read a bunch of books that I like, and I made a list of a few things I like to see in books, and I want to read books like that. One of them was books with spunky female characters, and I've had Mrs. Polifax in there. Another one that I had is epistolary type books, and I have The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street, which I think has some diary entries, and also England, just England is on there, and this is Helene Hemp's time going to England and writing some diary entries and stuff. So I think this is going to be one of the books I pick up next. Also very short, less than 150 pages. So it feels good to check some books off at the beginning of the month, some short ones, some that I need to read. I also want to start Murder at the Mayfair Hotel. This is the book that my kindred spirit chose for me for this month by C.J. Archer. This is the start of a Cleopatra Fox mystery, and according to this, it thinks that it will only take me 3 hours to read. So I'm not sure if that's accurate since I haven't started it yet, but then it should be a pretty quick read. And then yesterday I went to the library. I got 3 books. I think one of them was for a kid. I only have 2 here, and I can't remember what the third one was. It must have been for a kid. One of them was a picture book. The God Contest? The True Story of Elijah, Jesus, and the Greatest Victory. I have seen this book places. Yeah, okay. This is by, I need to pull this off, Tales That Tell the Truth. The same publisher, I think, that wrote The Garden, the Curtain, the Cross, The Storm That Stopped. There's quite a few books in the series by different authors, and the library had one, so I wanted to check it out. I'm not sure if these are ones that I should own. Okay, so it starts out with like kind of real life, current, present day. That's what I'm looking for. And then it goes into the biblical story. I will take a look at it yet. Have you guys read any of these? There's also The Christmas Promise, The Friend Who Forgives, Goodbye to Goodbyes, Jesus and the Very Big Surprise, The Prisoners, Earthquake, and The Midnight Song. And then like, I can't tell what all the titles of those are because they're covered up, but let me know if you've read any of those. Are they good? I did just order from 10 of those. I shared this in my newsletter. I ordered a children's Bible that I've heard good things about. It's currently, at least when I ordered it, 50% off. So it's only $18 Canadian. I'm assuming the American version is on sale too, and probably for cheaper because your money is worth more. I'm excited about that. And I ordered another thing for school next year, hopefully, as well. And then another book. This one is for me. It is a middle grade book though, and this is a cover. I want to read this because of the cover. Olivetti. I don't know how to say it. Olivetti. That makes sense. Hello, it's got a typewriter, it's got flowers, it's gorgeous. And I've heard good things. It's got good reviews on Goodreads from people that I follow. It's quite possible you've never spoken to a typewriter before. This is not your fault. Humans tend to think we can't understand them, but when you sit still for long enough, there is much you can learn. Okay, so this is, like, is it actually from the viewpoint of the typewriter? I'm not super into that. Okay, so what I just read there is the first, like, couple lines of the book. That's the introduction. Oh, okay. Well, I will hopefully read this. It looks like it's going to be a very quick read. It's got big words. So that's what I got from the library. It's really bothering me that I can't remember the third book. Probably a book for Reka, not sure. So yeah, now it's just keep cool, read good books, and chill, I think, for the rest of the day.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin,
It is Sunday, and Sundays post-church, when there's nothing up, are my favorite half days because I like to put on comfy clothes and either do something with my family and or do some vegging, which means reading, and sometimes some YouTube videos if I can get some in. My YouTube watch later is always so backlogged, and I love to be able to comment on every video I watch, but it's just not possible. So Sundays I like to be able to watch a little bit. So this morning, before church, I finished the Murder at the Mayfair Hotel. Is that what the title was? I think so. And it was a good little, it's 1899, so very late Victorian era mystery. A guest at this hotel where our main character, Cleopatra, she goes to live at the hotel. Her aunt and uncle, well, her uncle owns it and lives there with her aunt and her two cousins she's only seen them once. Her mom was disinherited when she married her father, and so long story short, Cleopatra's parents and grandparents are dead. She goes to live at this hotel, and one of the guests gets murdered. And I mean, it's like a cozy-ish mystery, fairly, I don't want to say completely predictable, but like kind of, but a fun time. And it is the first book in a series, and I believe it's free. I think CJ Archer always has her first book in her series free, so that one's free. And then last year I read the first book in her Glass and Steel series, which was also Victorian-ish era, but that one had some fantasy with it, I think. I haven't continued with her series yet, but I want to. They're very well written, and this one was just a fun time. So I read that, just breezed through it. Then this morning I started Adorning the Dark. That's one of my rereads for the year, and I just felt in the mood to reread it this month. So I'm starting that. I had tabbed it previously, but I don't like those tabs, so I'm putting new tabs in to replace those, and also apparently more tabs. And I didn't highlight anything last time, and I'm highlighting things this time, so I only read the preface, and it's been a good restart. Then before church I also started, there is a short story collection, anthology, I don't really know what it's called, what the proper terminology is. It's called Birdsong. I'm not sure if it's out yet or if it's coming out right away. There is 6 short stories in it, I think, and I instantly went to Shatona's short story because I love Shatona's writing, and I didn't even realize this is a short story in the Bookstrings series. We've got Milton in there, who is one of the kind of main characters in the Bookstrings series. So we are with Milton, who generally helps bookstores get out of debt, but this time he's come across a guy who is a book hoarder to the extreme, and he definitely helps people more than just like financially in the book business. He's also really good. He's almost like a therapist. He really does a lot, and so he's working on breaking down this guy's walls and getting him involved in his community and stuff. So I'm enjoying being back in the Bookstrings world. I'm sure we'll at some point go back and read the other short stories in this collection, but wanted to start with Shatona's, and yeah, I do that all the time when she has a short story in a collection. I'll read the other ones eventually. So I have no idea how long her short story is. I think I'm 70-some% through the whole book, the collection, according to the Kobo, but there's 2 short stories left yet. So I'm assuming I'm pretty close to the end. And then I'll do a little bit more Cranford and then start something else yet. So Murder at the Mayfair Hotel was my Kindred Spirit read for the month, and Mrs. Polifax was my Read Your Bookshelf challenge read for the month. That means I've checked off 2 of my challenges already, and today is the 4th, and I've finished 3 books in the last 3 days, and then I'm going to finish a short story today. So I'm kind of like crushing my TBR. The only other book I have to read this month is Anne's House of Dreams, which I don't want to start in this vlog because I haven't done the live for Anne of Windy Poplars yet, and I don't want the books getting confused in my brain. So I'll put that off till at least after that. But yeah, it's been a really good start to the reading month. So I'm gonna go finish Birdsong and then see what I pick up next. What I've been doing lately, I have a strategy that has been working really well. I look at my TBR cart where I have usually my monthly TBR plus books that I share when I film my TBR cart again. And I take like 1 or 2 that I'm interested in reading next, and I go put them on my nightstand. And this is helping me be able to mood read amongst the books that I have, but not get completely overwhelmed. And so the other day I pulled off the Helene Hanff one, The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street, which is another short book. So that's probably the one I'm gonna pick up next, hang out in England for a bit. I think that's my plan, and then after that, I don't know. I don't have anything else pulled off at the moment that I'm going to read next, but we will see what I'm in the mood for. Oh, and first though, I have a craft project. Jared got a 3D printer a month or two ago, and he printed little coin piggy banks for the younger two kids, and I'm going to paint one of them for one of the kids, or at least it's gonna probably take a couple coats because she wants it pink, of course. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna do some reading. The travel itch as I read The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street is strong. It is strong. Not that I do want to go to London again. I do want to look around London, but I really want to go to England. And she was just, Helene, as she's in London, was just asked if she planned to buy silver and cashmere here or just books. I said I planned to buy nothing over here. Everything I see in a shop window has a price tag reading "one less day in London." I would not be able to stop myself from buying books, I will say that, but I can relate to the general idea of it. I'm already 40 pages in. It is a quick read. At the beginning, on page 15, she was talking, she said, "All my life I wanted to see London. I used to go to English movies just to look at the streets with houses like these. Staring at the screen in a dark theater, I wanted to walk down those streets so badly, it gnawed at me like hunger. Sometimes at home in the evening, reading a casual description of London by Hazlitt or Leigh Hunt, I'd put the book down suddenly, engulfed by a wave of longing that was like homesickness. I wanted to see London the way old people want to see home before they die." Yeah, that is how I feel. I have been to London and England before, so it's not completely something I haven't seen before. Oh, but do I ever have a desire to go back so bad. Next year is a big one in our family. Ooh, my oldest will be turning 16. My second will be turning 13. Jared and I are turning 40. And it's our 20th wedding anniversary. Big year next year. And if I could choose, that's where I would choose to go. But it's not quite feasible for a family of 6 to go to England and spend as much time as there as I would like. So, oh well. But one day I would like to. Enjoying it. It's too bad she has so much that she has to do in London. So she went to London for like book signing stuff. And it's too bad that she has so much she has to do there as opposed to just being able to do whatever she wants to do. But she's getting some time in just to hang out a little bit, see the sights, visit London. Funny enough, Nora Dole, who is Frank Dole's wife, Frank is the one she corresponded with for years, and then he died before she went to visit. For 20 years, she thought her name was Helen. She'd been calling her Helen instead of Helene, which is just kind of funny. And then she keeps calling her Helen. So, interesting. Yeah, so living vicariously through this. I've been watching a lot of like travel vlogs lately, and yeah, just reading lots of English stuff set in the English world, in the cities, in the countryside. Definitely what I'm craving. If I can't have a trip there physically, I will have a trip there mentally. And then after I'm done this, I will take a look at my TBR cart and see what's calling me there. But first, a little bit more time hanging out in London. playing the Mistborn game. All I want to do is reread Mistborn. It's been on my mind for like the last 2 months because Reika's been reading it for the first time. Jared's been rereading it, and I don't remember anything. This summer will be 5 years, I think. I'm trying to do the math. I think it's 5 years since I read it the first time, maybe 4. And I'm ready for a reread. I have read the first book in the second era, read the first era all the way through, and I haven't gotten into the second era, so I'm thinking maybe I reread this one and then just continue through, reread book 1 in era 2 after reading this series, but I'm not sure. I still have a third-ish of The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street to read. I'm on page 102 out of 144, so not that much left, 42 pages left. And I have to decide yet if I'm gonna pick up this next, or I do have a library book or 2 that need to go back soon. Am I in the mood for fantasy after? I will have to decide for sure once I finish this book, which will hopefully be this evening yet. But I'm going to wrap up this video here. I have created a bucket list for myself for my birthday. I don't think I did anything on the bucket list thus far. Where's my bucket list? No, I have not done anything yet, which is fine. We're on day 4 of the month. But I want to share some of these bucket list things in upcoming videos, and if I do that in this video, it'll get a little too long, I think. So we'll wrap things up here. Lots of reading in the last few days. Really disliked a book. Yeah, I still have to film my wrap up for whatever that book is that I've already given to a friend, and I'll see what she thinks about it. But need to film my wrap up, but I feel like I did a good long rant on here and then enjoyed some other reads, so it's a good start to the reading month. I did finish the short story that Shatona had in the Birdsong book. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We'll definitely read more from that anthology collection of short stories at some point. But now I'm gonna, just close things up here. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to me rant. Not normally what I like to do, but sometimes it just needs to be done. So thanks for hanging out with me for the last few days.